Hi, Professor. My name is Sandy Guadalupe Lopez Vázquez, and today I am going to give a reflection on the topics I saw in this third unit. The times are really important because based on them we will notice if the action was carried out in the present, past, or future. But the type of situation provides us with the information to know if the action carried out are momentary or lasting, and if they have an end or can be prolonged for a long or short period of time. Situation times also provide information about changes, an action that remains strong. All of them are important to have a real interpretation of the meaning. In the example discussed above, we take into account the following phrase: I have tasted eggs, which denote an action performed in the present. The example in the past is as follows: the rabbit hole was directly like a tunnel in some way. And the future, the following is: that will be a queer thing to be sure. In this way, we see the three main tenses that we use in our daily life to express that what was, what is, and what will be. Continuing with the order, we have four concepts that are important in semantics because they allow sentences to have a time reference for the actions that are described and also help to know the way in which they were performed. We are able to know what place in time the action has because of the inflections that are added to verbs and other words such as temporal adverbs. These concepts are related to each other because we can pronounce on an action, but we not only receive the information of the moment it happened, but also how sure we are the probability that it was done using the modality. On the other hand, if we are completely sure that the information is real, we use the indicative mood, and if we want to give much more information, we can use the aspect to clarify if the action is complete or incomplete. The first concept is tense, that, as already explaining, is divided into three main times. Then we have aspect, that is in turn is divided into two: progressive present periods and present perfect. In progressive, I have three examples that are future progressive. The example is "are will be the most interesting" and "maybe like this may." Progressive past, the example is "while she was looking at the place she has been, she suddenly appeared again." In the example of present progressive is "since they were lying on their face and the pattern on their backs was the same as the rest of the packs." Then with the perfect form, the present perfect, the example is "at last the dodo said everybody has won and all must have prizes." Example of past perfect is "and when she has finished, her sister kissed her and said it was a curious dream there certainly, but now run into your tea, is getting late." In the functions of language speech, the role that acts play with regarding to semantics is closely related to how we interpret it when communicating with someone else. since we can interpret directly or indirectly, and depending on the context in which we develop, we can obtain information about whether we must take an action or not. Emotional conditions are also essential to know in what way we ask for something, because in order to have a good conversation, it is important that we identify the intention of the speaker. The example in the directive in the indirective is, would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? The directive speech is a question, and the indirective speech is a request or statement. That's all for me, and thank you.